You're watching New Car Spin, and this is the Mercedes AMG GLC43. Now, they've changed the numbers a lot lately, and some people don't really know what they mean anymore, and I'm kind of one of them. Basically, it's a V6 biturbo, and it has 4MATIC, which means all-wheel drive. This would compete with the Audi SQ5, which has a V6. This one, though, puts out 385 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque, somewhere around there. And it's about $79,000 as equipped. It has a lot of options on it. And, well, I'll go over those features. I do like the quad exhaust. It actually reminds me of the Jaguar F-Pace SVR. Now, that one has, though, a 550 horsepower supercharged V8. Much more power than this, but this does have that sort of essence of noise and speed. You will see things like this black plastic trim on the fenders, which I am not really a fan of, but it gives it that elevated, sporty off-road look. And it has the night package, which means it has the black trim around the windows and the black mirror. And, oh yeah, the grille, because it is an AMG. You get this specific AMG grille with the vertical slats, as opposed to the Starfield simulation on the typical Mercedes non-AMG models. You'll also notice too, down here, we have this open air vent in the front bumper dam, and that allows it to have a air skirt that goes around the vehicle. They do that on the CLS and a few other models, but it's nice to see it here. You'll also see a couple cameras up there. There's 1, 2, 3, I think 4 cameras. 2 of them are stereoscopic for the safety systems. This one here, I think, is the Augmented Reality for the navigation. And that one there actually might not be a camera. I believe that is just a rain sensor. Either way, there was a lot going on. Heads-up display projector as well. You're probably curious about the back, because this is a sloping roofline coupe SUV cross-trainer sport thing, whatever we're going to call it these days. Nice red interior, kind of roomy back here. You can get a child seat back there. We tried. Up front, you'll notice the Burmester sound system, which is standard, although I prefer the ELS on the Acura MDX. Sorry, the RDX. And then we have this carbon fiber trim, which is optional. You see the Alcantara or the Dynamica on the steering wheel. It is an AMG, of course, so it sounds great when you start it up. There you go. It starts by default in comfort mode. It also defaults to auto stop start on. And that's in comfort. If we put it into sport, we could use this toggle here, or we can turn this really cool screen that's built into the steering wheel. Yeah, that sounds pretty juicy. Let's do this. Put our seatbelts on. When you put the seatbelt on, it cinches up here. What do I want to go over? Oh yeah, the price. Before we hit the road, let me just give you kind of a tally here. So it's 70... my phone's not going to focus, is it? Oh, we almost had it. $79,850, I think you just saw there. The print on here is pretty blurry too. There we go. Has a lot of options. The red interior is a $1,600 option, and the carbon fiber is $975. The problem I have with this red interior is that it's not Napa leather. It's pretty rough. And, I mean, it's solid and durable. And there's some suppleness to it. But it's not Napa. And at this price, I want Napa. The other thing, too, is there's no leather on the dash. And you can see that the stitching itself is not necessarily lined up properly. It's kind of crooked. But those are small prices to pay, I think, for what this thing can really deliver. We have more options on here. The instrument cluster, the navigation, the Burmester. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, everything's an option. I'm struggling to see what comes on this car if you were just to pay $63,000, which is the base price. I think you just get an engine and 4 wheels. But 79 or 70, well, let's just round it off, $80,000. For $88,000, you get the Jag F-Pace SVR with a V8 and 550 horsepower. For less than $79,000 or $80,000, you can get an SQ5. So, what is this about? Well, you get the Mercedes build quality. I'm not even going to say reliability, because reliability is a myth. But I will also say that it does certain things that are pretty cool. When you're on the phone, for instance, the HVAC, the air conditioning, will actually tone down the fan speed so you get less noise from within the vehicle while you're on a call. It does that automatically when you're on Bluetooth connectivity. When you are at a stoplight, let's just go ahead and move forward a little bit here. Such as this, you come to a stop. Boom. You put your foot on the brake and you stop. But if you put extra pressure on the brake pedal, you'll see there it says hold. And you let go of the brake and you actually stay stopped. So there's no button for auto hold or anything like that. It's just a built-in pressure system on the brake device itself. And those types of things are incorporated in this car, and they're just kind of all over the place. And so while you might not see things in this car, there are many of things going on that help make it a much more enjoyable experience. You'll also see if we're on the home screen here, and it is a touch screen. But if we go back to the home by pressing this button here on the touchpad or there on the screen, we can scroll this way, and we have things called themes. And when you do themes, it automatically configures everything: instrument gauge cluster, the navigation system activates, we go back into comfort mode. All these things happen at once. It's like a giant shortcut. So we go back to the home here and we scroll. Oops, go the other way. I'm scrolling backwards. There we go. If we go over to, let's just say experience, you'll see our gauge cluster changed to a different color theme look. And now we've got something else on the screen here. And let's change it one more time. And if we go back to themes, we'll go to racetrack. And now you see that we're in Sport Plus mode. The gauge cluster changed again. And now it says, warning, use this on racetracks only. I don't think they mean use this car on racetracks only. I think they mean use this app on racetracks only. But what we'll do is we go here. There's a feature called Drag Race. And it allows us to determine what the 0 to 60 time is on this car. And I think there's no better time than now. So let's go ahead and do that. This thing is going to activate, but we'll reset it in a second. And we'll come to that stop sign there, and we'll just give it the beans and see what this thing is capable of. I will keep the traction control on. And we'll just hit it pretty hard here. Okay, we'll start doing it again, and you'll get to see what this thing sounds like in Sport Plus mode, off the line, hard throttle. Just want that van to stop. Then we'll go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Just after that second gear, I hit that water and it activated traction control. Well, you kind of get the idea. It's definitely quick and loud, and it is an AMG from that aspect. Although I do have to say, 385 horsepower from a biturbo V6. Infiniti did that in a sedan called the Q50 RS400 or Red Sport. They're able to do 400 horsepower out of a twin turbo V6. And it kind of makes this AMG model look a little outdated from the power side. Luckily, you can get a 63, a CLS, sorry, not a CLS, this is the GLC, a GLC 63. I think GLS rolls off the tongue better. But you can You can definitely keep it in Sport Plus mode and have all that crackle and burble from the exhaust, and you can enjoy all of it. You can use the track performance app and all those things to figure out how good you are on a track. This is definitely capable of going to a track, by the way. We do have an air suspension in here, something that I don't believe you get in the SQ5 these days. What we'll do is make this U-turn here. Hopefully that guy will stay straight. Yes, we win. Today we win. This is good. Okay. Come in with some pretty decent speed. Road's kind of wet. Brake. You hear it downshift, holding the gear. Wet road. I don't want to take it too hard here because it's a morning commute. So these people sometimes are mindless on morning commutes. Alright, we'll go for it. So it makes good sound. I'm just basically flirting with the gas pedal here just so you can hear everything it can do. Now, if you don't like Sport Plus mode, which is pure raw sound, I'm not really hearing anything piped into the cabin, which is good news because a lot of cars now fake it until they make it. The AMG Light, I'll call this because it's a 43, it performs very well. There are some times where I think the suspension's a little too harsh, so I just basically turn this knob, and now we're in sport mode. And you can see on the screen here, we see the update, and we can drive along. The suspension goes from 2 to 1, so it's a little bit more compliant. The exhaust comes back to the normal level because it's deactivated here, and I know the glare is sometimes hard to see. Basically, we have a slightly more compliant car. The problem here is this. When you come to a stop, you have to come to a complete stop for a good 2 seconds for it to go back into first gear, even in sport mode. Now, the traditional Mercedes move is to keep it in second gear and start off in second gear, so it's a much smoother ride. But even in sport mode, it goes to first only after you've stopped for like a good 1 second. So here we are. My typical driving style is like this. We're stopped, we go. You see that big yellow 2 on there? Now it's a 3. That's the gear change. So if I come up to a stop again, even in sport mode, I'm not getting the full acceleration I'm expecting because I'm starting off in second gear. Stop, go. Now, that's kind of counterintuitive to me, but it's only when you come to a complete stop, like now, where you really want to accelerate hard. Now it's in first gear. And that's annoying because I want to just totally take stop signs and go, but I can't. And now it's in first gear and it doesn't need to be. That's the thing. Like, a Mercedes is always like that, and that's what's preventing me from buying another one. I just always have like this unpredictable acceleration off the line from it in stop and go traffic because I don't know why it won't be in the right gear all the time. And they've done it back in the days of the 4-speed automatics, the 5-speed, then the 7 G-tronic, and now we're at a 9-speed automatic, and it only goes into first gear after I have completely stopped. In sport mode, no less. So the problem with that is you want to be in comfort mode, it will still go to first gear in comfort mode rather than just start off in second. But there is another mode. You'll see it there. Whoa, I just missed it. Slippery. So slippery, let's go ahead and make this right. Slippery reduces the engine power and changes the dynamics of the all-wheel drive system. Here we go. If I come to a complete stop, nope, it still goes down to first, which is so weird because what I want is a predictable driving experience, and unfortunately it's not that enjoyable from the different drive modes. I mean, you can get tailored drive modes in most cars, but not in the Mercedes. They give you themes and profiles and different gauge cluster designs based on different modes, but you notice it didn't change when I changed the drive mode. I have to change the theme. So there's some stuff in here where I'm like, that's gimmicky. And all I really want is an AMG. Just give me the AMG and just take all that stuff away. The reality would be, if you like this gauge cluster, you'll probably never change the mode unless you accidentally change the theme over here. We still have the trackpad stuff that I showed you in the CLS model that I drove. And the cool thing, though, we'll do it right now. The cool thing is Augmented Reality. So if we go where to, let's go, it was called Quick Trip. Let's go ahead and go POIs. Gas station, good. Alright. So we'll go search. Let me just stop for a second. You can type in the destination while you're driving, so your passenger can do it. However, I'm stopping because it's just me. So there you go, Quick Trip. Boom. So it's going to ask me to enter the destination, and now you'll see.
Is being calculated.
As we drive,
200 feet, turn left onto Opal Lane.
We have this navigation, and you heard it say in 200 feet. But you see, sometimes what happens
now
is
turn left.
I really don't get a good enough heads up for the turn I need to make. So Augmented Reality is quite interesting, and you see it here on the heads-up display. We also have, which, by the way, the heads-up display is pretty high up on the windshield. It's about halfway up here. But what we get is really cool technology experience through here, unless, of course, I say one word, and that word is Mercedes.
500 feet at the end of the road, turn left onto North Floyd Road.
I mean, I could get used to this type of navigation.
Now turn left.
But on the freeway, it needs a little bit more assistance from the heads-up point of view. Like, it needs to warn me a little bit more in advance than it did. I've had an experience where I missed turns because it was too late. And I understand it has to wait to the street that you need to turn on to show you. But, you know, it's still cool nonetheless. Yeah, so this is all cool until you say one word, which is Mercedes. And if I was to say, hey, Mercedes. Oh, okay, so she ignores me now. I guess she won't listen when the navigation is on. I'll show you that in a moment, after we get to our destination. So in my case, we're actually not going to go to the destination. We'll just cancel this. Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Cancel navigation.
Route guidance canceled.
So this is called MBUX, or Mercedes-Benz User Experience. And what it's supposed to do is kind of assist you as a personal assistant, but it can't do things I've seen in other cars, on other channels, in other countries, which is where you can tell it to do things like open the sunroof. So if I went, hey, Mercedes. Okay. Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Open the sunroof.
I'm sorry, but this function is not available in this vehicle.
Okay. Well, you can tell her to turn on the headlights and things like that. But I'm not sure exactly what the full feature, functionality, or purpose of it is, because it is easier just to hit the button than it is to actually like have a conversation with my car. I'm single, but I'm not that single. Anyway, that's it. The Mercedes AMG GLC43. Plenty of power, great air suspension, decent stereo, very, very pricey. That's the only drawback. And I would say if you're going to spend $79,000 on a GLC, you might as well make it the 63 and get the V8, and you get additional features with that. But here, this V6, I took it on a 2-hour road trip just past Waco, And fuel economy wasn't bad. I mean, if we look here, overall consumption, 12.6 on the city. I'm the worst case scenario. 17.6 miles per gallon over 737 miles. It doesn't look good, but again, I'm worst case scenario. Woo! Yeah, you gotta have 4MATIC when you go with an AMG. I think that's the only way going forward. Even at 385 horsepower, somewhere around there, you basically want to make sure it can put it down. The car does have that weird lateral pull to it as well when you accelerate hard on these slightly damp roads. And let's go back here. I'm trying to figure out what else I can show you that really matters. I don't even talk about disc brake size, because who cares if it's got 14 or 15 or 18.2 inch discs. It stops. Yeah. I can say the week I've had this thing, it's been quite an interesting ride. I wish it had a panoramic sunroof. I wish it had Napa leather. Let me do one more walk around for you. Trying to see what else about this vehicle. What did I say? Is that something I said?
The function you have chosen is not available.
I said, what else about this vehicle? Trying to see what else about this vehicle. I don't understand how that's an issue. I don't know. That whole Mercedes-Benz UX thing sometimes kicks in when I don't even know I'm asking for it. I don't even know what I'm saying that's causing it to do that. I wish the stop-start would be programmable, because I'm always disabling that every time I get in the car. Let's turn the engine off. Let's see. Is there anything else really? We have our sunglasses compartment, which is tiny. Luckily, there's a lot of storage everywhere else. Huge pockets here in the doors. Hard to see, but trust me, you can fit a huge water bottle in there when you go to the gym. Electronic parking brake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, all this storage here, right? And the problem is we have USB-C. So, when I usually get into my press cars, I have my cable here to charge my phone. And, well, I can't. I have the traditional USB B. So, basically, you need all new cables when you get one of these cars, and so do your passengers, because I can't find any USB ports in the back. That's my beach hat. Let's see. We have a 12 volt, and then we have a 115 volt, but no USB-C back here. $80,000. Okay. Yes, we have folding rear seats. Yes, there are cup holders. What else? I think that's it. Let me open the trunk for you. I went to the beach, so it's going to be a little complicated. When you come to a stop, that camera actually pops out of that logo there. You can see it here. Maybe not, but it's in there, which means it doesn't get dirty on rainy days like today. Alright, we have a lockable storage in the back. Pretty deep, too. Very nice carpeting here. And a cargo cover. I hate these things. I mean, it's okay. It's just, you know, 5-10 years from now, it's going to look like crap. Air suspension, we have the lowering option here, which is important because it's really slow to do it here. But you'll notice Look how high the trunk is here. That is the highest boot, lip, whatever, that I've encountered in a long time. It's as high as a pickup truck. And then you have this little lip here, which is great because when you open it, all roller estate agents know this, when you open it, your wine bottles won't roll out of your trunk. Okay, electronic release. My hat's on the other side, so I'm not going to do that one too. And then, of course, your electronic trunk. And a little hook here to hang things when you're at the beach. No pop-up spoiler or anything, it's just a hard lip. Some people might appreciate a real spoiler. I'm not a fan of the chrome trim here, but you know, that's all subjective stuff. I usually don't go over design anyway, because who cares about the outside when you're inside? Anyway, that is the 2020 GLC43. I would say it's nice. It's missing a few things I would expect in a car in this price range. But if you're interested in it, look at the 63. I don't know what else to say. I think these are still made in Alabama. Nope, this one's made in Germany. So I thought all SUVs were made in Alabama. I guess it's just the GLS and the GLE. Alright, thanks for watching. This was New Car Spin. Thumbs up, which means like, subscribe, comment, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.